Choke, no joke, chiggy choke, no joke. Choke, no joke, chiggy choke, no joke. You know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Shout out to everybody in the building. I'm sorry for the delay. I know I said I was coming on at 12 and I had to push the time back. Uh I had produced and directed this music video yesterday. So I had to unpack all this equipment and stuff that I forgot about. So I had to get that out the way. So pardon me, Abigail. I know you was first in the building. And my man Bert, y'all been sitting around waiting for a brother Janice. My apology, whack on wood. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Ursula, what up? Good afternoon to y'all. Good morning on the West Coast. You know what I mean? Good evening over to y'all over there in Great Britain. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody over in Africa, in the Caribbean, Canada, what up? You know, people, shout out to my people in the Netherlands, Ireland, you know, all over, worldwide, international. Choke no joke. I am here. You know how we do. I got another explosive one for y'all. I got another explosive one for y'all. In this Tupac case. Oh, baby. Oh, man. Shout out Omar Bradley Jr. When I tell y'all, man, I got another explosive one for y'all today. You know what I mean? London in the building. What up? I see you. All right. Shout out to Brixton. All right. Hyde Park. All right. Um, Shout out to my man Mega SAS. Man, when I tell y'all I got an explosive one for y'all, this is when the time when you hit up your good buddies, you know, the people you know that love pop, or the people you know that's interested in this case. You know what I'm saying? Or the people you share your videos with. Now's the time to hit them up because, no pun intended, now's the time to hit them up. Man, I be calling it, man. I be calling it so much, man. Man, I be feeling like I'm Nostradamus. When y'all see this today, y'all gonna really throw that Diddy goddamn theory out the window. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Allegedly, Tupac was murdered by death row, B. Allegedly. Right? Who made the call? Who said it? It could be various people. But who carried it out? Various people. But when you see this, we're going to get into it. Choke no joke. I'm in the building. Let them know. All right. Let's get the show started. I'm here now. You know what it is. Choke no joke. Yeah. It's choke no joke. Let's go. Choke no joke. Chicken choke no joke. Choke no joke. Niggas choke no joke.
Stay the hell. Don't follow those cats.
Choke no joke. You already know. Let's go out the Grey go. Now I'm out the game. Feel good not pitching in the hood. And I really don't think I could. Go back to selling crack and stashing them packs in my ass. I maintain weekly money the same. And nah, I don't go through them games. Niggas testing my brain with them triple beams filled with change. Pot crack, grams in the drain. Getting hit with the fake exchange. Like baking soda flour. After being on Broadway for hours. Getting knocked, being back at start. Niggas testing if I got heart. Pushing me to pop some shots. Just stop the ball before that.
Give description to cops while they try to tear us apart with that good cop, bad cop. I ain't going for the game, he ain't tell you a thing. Your partner's with him saying the same. You tighten them cuffs till you see veins. Stop fucking yanking them down out the game. They might fuck you if you ain't sane. And nigga never sniff cocaine. And I don't care what game or part of the area you claim. Brave Scarface, you must be insane, nigga. Tony fucked the boy's Dane. His right hand man, he's slain to get his back blown out the game. Do it on the low, let nobody know. No pillow talk to home. And if he step on your toes, don't bust a blame, cause everybody will know. Or get out the game. They say that change is good. It's a lot of stress in the hood, and I know if you could, you would. Get out the game, but you stuck in that time. Where the nigga in public like shine. For a witness to drop a dime. For self-defense, do or die. Celebs doing time. Mike Vick on the child line. Even Kobe, Jason Williams, Gage, kick like Shinobi. Little Kim for perjury. You know you done fucked up, right? You know you done fucked up, right? Let's go. When it's late night, make sure it's packed tight. And when you take those flights, never eye the Jake in sight. And shake them fuckers when they dead to right. Making a fifth go rumble. Because of stick up trouble. Blasting your gap for a cat, for in fact, with some crap that don't involve you. For some dudes that don't love you, all they wanna do is pawn you until you go down. And don't do shit for you when you lock down, or even when you touch down. But they tell you to go to the pound. The same block that gave you a pound. Years in the pen, now you live it again. What mind state are you in? When you back it for 10, and you was just waiting for a teen to come home to relive it again. Entrapment should be a sin. The way they reel us in, will roll us to a revolving door to bring us in. This shit is insane. The game is insane. The game will fuck with your brain. That's why I'm out the game. Yeah. Just get out the game, man. I know they told y'all there's only 2 ways out. Jail and death. Nah, just get out, nigga. Just get out, man. It's easy. Just walk away, nigga. If they care about you, they'll let you go. If you in the game and you wanna go and get a better life, and they won't let you walk away, what do that say? Get out the game, nigga. You wanna sleep easy, nigga? Look at these rap niggas, nigga. You wanna be the next rapper? Trapper, clapper, federal indictment rapper? Huh? I keep telling y'all niggas, man, get out the game, man. Joke no joke. Grego, you already know. The beast is chemical, baby. That's why I'm out the game.
Choke, no joke. We here, baby. Make sure y'all get that Tunnel documentary. Tunnel documentary is out right now. Tubi, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Cluster, right here on YouTube on Stash Movies. Make sure y'all get that Tunnel doc right now. Support a brother. Yeah.
Choke, no joke.
Yeah.
It's choke, no joke. Let's go. Choke, no joke. Chicken choke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Niggas choke, no joke.
We getting right to it right after this. We getting right to it.
What up, y'all? It's Arthur D. Austin, better known as Choke No Joke. We out here at the legendary Tunnel nightclub, or at least where it used to be. Everybody asks me what's the Tunnel. The Tunnel was a nightclub that was owned in the 90s here by Peter Gatien. In 94, Stress Entertainment started a party called Mecca. In 96, Franchise Entertainment took it over and they had it until it closed. All the biggest names in hip hop perform here, from Jay-Z, Meth and Red, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Nas, Puff Daddy and the family, Eve, you name it, they was all here. If you had heart, you came here. But everybody didn't have heart. So it's time for y'all to enter the club most people feared to enter, the Tunnel.
The Tunnel wasn't a unique hip-hop club, and its foundations were based on the concept of bringing hip-hop from all the boroughs to one location. And it was the brainchild of Peter Gation. My name is Sterling Cox. I was the head of security.
Alpha Grinion, Brooklyn, New York.
My name is V.
House.
Sincere from Brooklyn.
Glenn Beck. Jumping Lee, whatever Lee you want to call me.
Omega.
Ray Mack.
Diamond.
Craig.
Candy.
Big Box. Big Country.
Ramona Diaz.
Big Penna. Big CB.
John Bass Raleigh.
Sean Brophy, sound engineer.
DJ Johnny Walker Red.
MC Frank Jigger, the celebrity's choice.
Choke No Joke, legendary videographer.
Supreme Bigger Figure. Big Cap. The Warden.
Big G, AKA the ringleader.
The Tunnel was the hip-hop nucleus.
It was the epicenter.
It was the domain, the temple.
It was the Mecca.
It was like the hip-hop Woodstock.
Nothing was that melting pot of hip-hop.
They kept the paradigm going.
It's almost like what Rucker did for like street basketball. The Tunnel was that of music industry.
Hip-hop had a heart. That shit was one of the main arteries.
It was actually a Mecca. That's what the original name of the party was, Mecca.
It was like a time machine. That's how the Tunnel was. You came out a whole different individual.
We went in there, young men with attitudes, and came out there wiser men with our lives.
It was definitely a starting, beginning spot for artists to come and mingle and branch out and get your record heard and get your shit together, really, to go into the next phase of your career.
The Tunnel was not open or did not open. A lot of new artists, or a lot of artists that we know now, to this very day, will have never been known.
All these artists out today need to be happy that the Tunnel was fucking open. Nobody would hear none of y'all singing tight pants niggas right now. The Tunnel was a platform for niggas like Jay and Puff, Wu and Mob and DMX and Rough Riders. Niggas don't respect these niggas today, man. You need to realize, man, without them niggas, man, and their platform, it made a lot of moves for niggas today.
It happened there, it made it relevant.
Became a pillar of hip hop.
The Tunnel is the nucleus of hip hop. And I'll say all the way down south, because when the Tunnel was open, wasn't too much going on down that motherfucker. Y'all can say what y'all want, east to the south, but New York made the shit pop. New York was where it's at. The Tunnel in New York is where you needed to be to pop.
The Tunnel was definitely a hip-hop nucleus, yo. It was just like the galaxy and bring other planets in. You have people from France, Germany, London, everywhere. If they came to New York, they had to go to the Tunnel.
Hi, from here. I come here to meet you, and I'm going to all the place. I'm going to the Bronx, to Sedgwick Avenue, with Cool Hook, do the party, and Cedar, and then I'm going to the Tunnel.
It was our barometer for, how we were really gauging records, and we were really, studying the behavior of the consumer.
It ain't just like how they do it now. You could just throw a record out and, wait 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever for the shit to bubble. Niggas was putting them records on to see if them shits get that reaction. And if the shit was popping, niggas would fast track it. If it wasn't, niggas would go back to the drawing board. Absolutely. It's the definition of hip hop nucleus. Everything was there.
Everything that surrounded hip hop, from fashion to music, hairstyles.
Like, it encompassed every part of the hip-hop experience, and they put it all in one building on a Sunday night.
If you go as far back to little hole in the walls and little, centers where people start elaborating, playing the sounds and displaying the culture, to within later on you have places that was up in Harlem, like Harlem World, up in the Bronx called T Connection, just using them as an example, or many other places all throughout the city. And then years later, here come places like Union Square and Latin Quarters. The last of the Mohegans of for real hip hop had became the Tunnel.
Tunnel was definitely a hip hop nucleus. It really was. And you gotta say, believe it or not, the wagon master was a one-eyed white guy from Canada, Peter Gation.
Nothing will ever be like the Tunnel.
Nothing ever, 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 will ever be like the world famous Tunnel B. Shout out to Funk Master Flex, Jessica Rosenblum, rest in peace, Chris Lighty. You know what I mean? My man Paul Knotts, you know, DJ Cypher Sounds, DJ Johnny Walker Red, Frankie Cutlass, rest in peace, Big Cat, you know, Security Big G, you know, so many people. Jan from New Road or Yonkers, I can't remember where Jan's from, Westchester. She used to have the food at the back of the tunnel. My man John Bass Brolick, girl Candy, you know, big house, big country. Man, rest in peace, Brooklyn Sincere. Tunnel, man, that was it, baby. That was it, man. Check, check. That was definitely it, man. Ah, I miss those days, but I'm gonna revisit it in my upcoming docu-series. Choke No Joke, the Content King. I've been working like crazy, you know. That's why, you know, it's kind of hard for me to be going live because I've been digging in them crates, you know. As you can see, I'm going through them. See them dates. 2003. Shout out Kim Osario. You know what I mean? It's 22 years ago. Me with the camera. You heard? Up at the Source magazine. You know what I mean? Up in the Source office. You heard? It's coming. Shout out to my girl, Miss J, Nina Ross, the boss. You heard? Shout out to what you call it, Miss Jade. I spoke to her on FaceTime the other day. Shout out to my man Oskino Vasquez in the building. Spoke to him the other day. You know what I mean? Telling you, I'm pulling out. I'm digging in the crate. Shout out to Allen Iverson. That's 21 years ago. Some of y'all was still babies. You know what I mean? And I was in the club. Shout out to my man Twister, my man Emilio Sparks. Yeah. Choke No Joke, the Content King, coming soon. The docu-series. You know what I mean? My man Oskino suited and booted. You know what I mean? I'm digging. I'm digging. My man Crack. You know what I mean? I'm digging. I'm digging. It's gonna be something crazy. 25 years ago. Shout out to my man DJ SNS. We up in Quad Studios, the famous Quad where Pac got shot at. My man DJ SNS. You know what I mean? Who produced that First Time Felon joint for me. I never think 20 years later I'll be getting the DJ SNS beat, right? You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Rapping Noy, Big Noy. You know what I mean? What's that? 23 years ago? 22 years ago? You know what I mean? I'm digging. I'm digging. Yeah, it's coming. Don't worry, y'all. I got y'all. It's coming. So, should I go live on TikTok? Should I go live on Instagram? I think I'm gonna go live on TikTok. Shout out to my man Fredro. Them niggas ripped the tunnel down too. Onyx. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go live on TikTok. If you follow me on TikTok, I am going live on TikTok right now. So Choke No Joke, I'm in the building, as you can see. Most definitely, we are fresh. All right. A little parched, a little thirsty over here. I went roller skating. Well, technically I ain't go roller skating, but I got on some skates and went roller skating last night. I produced and directed this music video for R&B artist by the name of Monique Nicole. So I was shooting all day yesterday. That's why I didn't go live. And I'm here today early. You know what I mean? I'll probably come back on later. I'm not too sure yet. But so the last few days, in the Tupac saga, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, my man Pac. Right? Um, we are now just 4 months away from the trial beginning. If all goes well, if that new defense don't need time to push it back. You know what I mean? Um, 4 months away, and you thought Diddy trial was something. This is going to be big. I don't know if it's going to be as big as Diddy's, but it's going to be either bigger or right under, if depending on the media. But I believe in Vegas, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. So there's been a lot of us out here, that have been doing deep dives for years, decades, you know, into this, trying to figure out, you know, who killed Tupac. I feel like if Tupac was white, not being racist, but if he was white or big, this probably would have been solved a long time ago. They would have just pulled camera footage and you would have seen everything. Because as we know, even in Vegas back then, they had cameras. So if they really wanted to solve it, they would have, and they probably know. But my belief is they know that allegedly police was involved, and that'd be such a scandal that police was involved allegedly in killing Tupac, that and big, that it would really put a stain on law enforcement and those who govern these law enforcement agencies. It would be really, 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 really bad that allegedly the police was involved. Now, for a while, you know, I've been having different theories. Sometimes, at one point I thought this, then some more information came out. And then I thought, another way, and then some more information came out. And then I thought another way. So some people be like, yo, Choke, you said this, or yo, Choke, you said that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Shout out King of the Carnal Christian, I think that is. And you see that. All right. Much love. Right. So TikTok, I'm live on YouTube too. If y'all want to see the visuals, go to Choke No Joke off the D Austin the third YouTube channel and subscribe while you there. All right. And you won't miss anything. All right. So the more information that comes out, the more privy you be to different things. Now, for me, I was fortunate enough uh to get introduced to Suge, right? And one of my friends, that was kicking it with Suge. Uh, he told me he met, he was kicking with Suge, and I told him about my encounter when I first met Suge, and he told Suge about it, and Suge was like, "Oh, that ain't happy, that nigga lying," and they put us on a three-way, and then I reiterated the story, and he told, "Oh, that didn't happen." I'm like, "Ask Cat Williams," and then he asked Cat Williams. Cat Williams told him it was true, and then he hit me back, and he apologized, and then we started kicking it, you know, me, him, and my man on the phone. Then eventually, he started calling me direct, and then for 2 years, you know, unbeknownst to y'all, I've been kicking it with him, you know, several times a day for 2 years straight, right? And so there's been a lot of conversations between me and him, right? But I never went public and said anything about it because at the time, I'm still doing my research in this thing. And of course, the rat bastard, Roden Rat Jr., he just up here telling all these stories and stuff. So I would let, Suge hear all the stuff that Roden Rat Jr. was saying to see when he was lying and when he was telling the truth. And that's how I became a lot more educated in what was going on because, I was personally talking to the former CEO of Death Row Records, right? Now, at the time, I didn't think that uh I didn't know how manipulative and uh you know how he could tell lies. I believe I took everything that he said with um as gold. And then, you know, where it was times where uh we didn't agree on something or something happened and he may accuse me of stuff that wasn't true, and then he'll find out it wasn't true and then he apologize or whatever. But after, I think maybe like the third time of that is when I started seeing a different side of him, right? Why I didn't just take looking at Dr. Dre or looking at Snoop or looking at his relationship with Roden Rat Jr. and just take it on face value. I don't know why the hell I thought I was special, but I did, right? So, but over the 2 years of talking to him, it's been more than 2 years, but it's been a minimum of 2 years. I can't remember exactly the date when I started talking to him, but there's been a lot of stuff that he told me that sometimes when he go, whether it was collect calls or any other interviews with different people, some of the stories were contradictions, right? So when I started seeing like the contradictions, I'm like, oh, this nigga was lying to me, about certain things. And even with, simple stuff about like, oh, I'm not talking to this female. And then, the female show me that he's contacting her. Or I'm not talking to Pork Butt, the Rodent Rat Junior, Reggie Wright Jr. And then I see, Reggie shows that, he's been talking to him because he got it recorded. So then, I stopped taking everything, like his word wasn't bond to me no more. I had to take it with a grain of salt and take everything on face value. Uh, moving forward. So, with that being said, all the stuff that I was told that I never questioned, I now started questioning, right? And now that, um, I know not to believe everything that he say, that, you know, um, that's another way where, like I said, when you get privy to so much information, your theory change, right? So imagine me listening to Suge's word for 2 years and the nigga telling me Diddy had something to do with it. And I'm believing him, right? And then I find out that this nigga be lying. Right. So now I gotta look at the Diddy situation and be like, and when I look at it now, like I don't believe the Diddy situation. Now, could have Diddy had said these things? Strong possibility he could have, right? But when it's all coming from people that hate him or people from the other side, like, and you don't really hear nobody that's close to Diddy or in Diddy's circle saying that he did that, then you kind of, or me, I kind of start looking at it like, okay, right? And then more recently, when I seen Suge hook up with Gene Dale and then started saying, the Corey Jacobs stuff, that I knew that was a lie because I knew he got that from Gene and stuff. Then I feel like, all right, this nigga got a motive for lying. Like, there's a reason why he's putting this shit on Diddy because it's not making sense. And I know the Corey thing is a lie. I know that Corey didn't give Keefy D money. I know Corey D didn't give Keefy D's son no money. And I've been speaking to this nigga for over 2 years. And never once did he ever mention that. He didn't even know who the fuck Corey was. Right? So Kurt Burrows messed with Gene. So I wouldn't even pay that no mind. And once again, Kurt Burrows, he's mad at Diddy. So I take him what he's saying as um not hate, but a motive to want to hurt Diddy. Just like we see Gene send Diddy to jail with all, his slander and everything, and uh allegedly, and you know, putting the spotlight on Diddy and everything. Right. So me knowing that he just met Gene and started talking to Gene this year, and then all of a sudden he just come out of nowhere with this Corey shit. And it made me go back and reevaluate everything in my head that I was told and start looking at things all over with a clear slate, right? Now, I'm not going to say everything that he's told me was a lie because of course a lot of stuff is documented and you could compare the stories, and some things he said was true, but other things when I look at it, it's suspect, right? Now, Here's one thing that no matter what you tell people, right? People still want to believe Orlando Anderson is the one responsible for killing Tupac. Even though they seen him on TV sit down, do an interview, and say he didn't do it. You know, even though they seen him in depositions sit down and say that he didn't do it, right? Even though I don't, and I know many of y'all that believe the Orlando Anderson story are definitely not somebody that's ever been in a gang or been in the streets or been in beef where somebody shot you, right? Or shot at you, or you had a real beef, or you shot someone. I could tell 85% of y'all that believe the Orlando Anderson story ain't never been in no real street mess. I'm trying not to curse, right? Because you would if you was a part of the streets, right? And you felt Orlando killed Tupac, right? And then you turn around and see Reggie Wright Jr., Keefe D, Orlando Anderson, um, Sergeant Reynolds, and this lawyer. What was the lawyer name? I can't think right now. Right? All sit down and have a meeting, right? And them give Orlando money, right? As gangster as Reggie is, you all the stories you hear about Reggie, right? How corrupt he was. He was a former cop and was a drug trafficker, money launderer, right? And he got his allegations on Reggie, even when it comes to murders. Like the guy that had his handcuffs on that got killed and they found in the cemetery, right? It's all kind of allegations. Like you got to know Reggie is not no uh B cop that ain't never got his hands dirty when you see him go to jail, right? But if you believe that Orlando killed Tupac, but these niggas is sitting down in a meeting with them, with him, Keefe D, and all, like they sitting in a room with these dudes, and you think he killed Tupac, y'all niggas ain't never been in the streets. If you think that Orlando shot Suge and allegedly, because Suge, according to Reggie, Suge didn't get shot. He got hit with a piece of scrap metal. Even though Reggie told you he got uh uh prior to that, Suge had a 40 caliber, got hit with a 40 caliber, and then Suge told you he got hit with a 45. And then that's one of the things I'm talking about with Suge being inconsistent, right? Suge says that for 30 years, he had a 45 bullet etched in his skull, right? 3, 4 months ago, even if I don't even think it was that long ago, probably 2 months ago, he changed the 45 bullet to a 40 because Reggie said that he got hit with a 40 in his head, right? And the only reason Reggie's saying that is because how would Reggie know if Suge got a 45 in his head, a 38 or 25 or 22? How would Reggie know what he got in his head? But the only reason Reggie is saying a 40 is because Pac was killed with a 40 caliber. So he's saying that Suge can't be hit with a 45. It has to be a 40. Suge don't know what he's talking about. So Suge, who told us for 30 years straight, I could go pull an interview up this year that he did with I think Cuomo. He says a 45. right? This year, he says a 45, right? And then Reggie goes on his show and say, oh, Suge don't know what he talking about. Because remember, him and Reggie was cool earlier this year. They was on the phone talking. Reggie proved that to us. Reggie goes and say, oh, nah, Suge got hit with a 40. Like, to me, that sounded like, yo, you stupid nigga. It's a 40. Pac got hit with a 40. You saying 45, nigga. You making it look like two different shooters. That's what I get from that, right? Because when Suge turns around and say, oh, man, yeah, man, oh, I just went and looked at my medical records. You know, even though I don't like Reggie, I got to give him his cigar, you know, because he right. Yeah, I got a 40. I got hit with a 40. Nigga, I've been talking to you for 2 years, more than 2 years. You always say 45. Always say 45. Even in your interviews outside of private conversations, you said 45. Now, Reggie says you got hit with a 40. The nigga, same nigga you said that you didn't see at the hospital. Right? Now, he says you got hit with a 40. And you changed your story and said you went and looked at your medical records. Wherever he got his medical records from, that's a whole nother other story. Because he could have looked at that over the 10 years, 5 years after he got shot, 10 years after he got shot, 20 years after he got shot, 30 years after he got shot. But you told me after 30 years later, this nigga Reggie gets on YouTube and says, oh, Suge got hit with a 40. The nigga that never came to the hospital. And now you're saying, because Reggie said it, oh, you went back and looked at it. Oh, and now you got hit with a 40. When you told the world publicly for 30 years straight, 30 years straight, bro, never changed the story. And now 2 months ago, you got hit with a 40. And that's coming from the most lyingest nigga on YouTube. Like, Reggie is such a liar, right? We done caught this nigga in many lies. And now he says he got hit with a 40. And now he got to give Reggie his cigar because he was right about that. He got hit with a 40. But if y'all want to keep believing Orlando Anderson did it, and then remember, what did Suge say? Orlando Anderson didn't shoot him, right? What did Orlando Anderson say? He didn't shoot him. On camera, on TV, in front of the world. Some of y'all niggas wasn't even born talking about Orlando did it. Some of y'all never met Orlando to know Orlando's character. All y'all going off of is hood legends, hood stories. Oh, that nigga Orlando was a shooter. Have you ever seen Orlando shoot anybody? Has Orlando ever been convicted of shooting and killing anybody for you to believe that he did it? Be real with yourself. How many other people you know in Compton that Orlando Anderson killed? I'll wait. All y'all out there that say Orlando Anderson got busy, this, that, and other. Folk tales, folk rumors, hood legends. Name some of the people that he has killed in the past. That didn't get. He might have bust his gun like many people in the hood, but name people that you know that he killed for you to say that he was a killer. Like you go to dudes like Alpo or Preacher. You know what I'm saying? Niggas will tell you who they killed. There's people that they can say that they know for a fact that they killed, right? Or got killed. right? Who do you know, or what did you see with your own eyes with Orlando that makes you that confident that this nigga killed Tupac, or you know that he was a rider? Y'all niggas is listening to streets. Y'all listening to streets. Y'all listening to rumors. That man got on TV himself and say he didn't do it. Suge said he was not the shooter. The original story says it was 2 people in the car. Gaddafi say the driver was light-skinned, bald head, with a mustache, and looked like a bitch in the face. Y'all ain't nobody in Keefy D's story in that car light-skinned. Not one person. Not T Brown, who's T Brown. Not T light-skinned. Not T beige. T Brown, who's darker than me. They saying was the driver, right? But being that they killed Gaddafi, why? Because he could finger the witness. I mean, finger the driver, right? He knew what the driver looked like. He says the guy's light skinned. He tells the dude Low from OFTB, yo, Low, the nigga look like you, Low. Who Low favors Mac and Perez to me, right? I'm not saying they were the drivers. I'm just saying. Allegedly, Suge says Perez and them were trying to kill him, right? Why do y'all disregard Gaddafi's statement that he gave minutes after the shooting that the driver was light-skinned? Why? Why, when you got a car full of all brown dudes, why do y'all keep going with this Orlando story? A nigga that had to reach over this big ass dude, heavy set dude in the back seat with a window that rolled halfway down, didn't even go all the way down, and believe that he's the one who did it. And then you got K-Dub, who tells Ben Crump himself on TV, don't be mad at me because I'm reiterating it. You got K-Dub who tells Ben Crump on TV that he ran up to the car and talked to Tupac and Suge. You didn't hear that from Frank, you know? You didn't hear that from Idi Amin in the car behind him. So if they didn't see K-Dub run up to the car, why y'all listening to these niggas when this nigga told Ben Crump his damn self that he ran up to the car? And Suge ain't denied that he did come up to the car. All he said is this dumb nigga told on himself. So if Suge is sitting there saying, oh, this dumb nigga told on himself, or that nigga ain't run up to the car, and I ain't see that nigga. He says this nigga told on himself. Why do y'all still think Orlando did it? If Keefy D can't even remember his own story from his own book, why you don't think that this nigga could be lying? Why you don't think that he could be lying because he made a deal to stick with the story, or he goes to jail for his drug stuff that they caught him with? Why do you disregard that Gray Caden is not Las Vegas Metro Police Department? And he didn't even work on the Tupac case. That's not even his jurisdiction. But he's the one telling y'all that it was 4 people in the car. And he never worked in Vegas a day in his life. And he was not on the Tupac case. He worked on the Biggie case. Why are y'all listening to him? He the one that told y'all 4 people was in the car. And he didn't get onto the case until the 2000s. In 96, Gray Caden wasn't even around. Why are y'all listening to him? Telling you 4 people was in the car. And where did he get the story from? Reggie. Reggie was the #1 suspect in the Biggie's murder. They was on Reggie. They gave Reggie immunity. And what did Reggie say? Allegedly, that Suge killed Biggie. That's how he got immunity. And they try to set Suge up with the Teresa Swan or Tammy Hawkins, whoever she is. Suge, one of Suge baby mothers, right? They try to set Suge up, sending them to the jail wired up. But Reggie went right on Vlad TV and said that Suge did it. And then told them Southside. First he told them Southside killed Biggie, which was a lie because they was at the party with Biggie. And then when Gray Caden and them doubled back, he gave him the Poochie story and blamed it on Suge and got immunity for it. The girl Tammy Hawkins got immunity for it. But the reason they ain't do nothing with it, why? Because allegedly the police was involved and their job was to clear the police. But Reggie's the one that told Gray Caden that bullshit ass story about the 4 niggas in the car. And they even went to the point where Reggie even said at one time it was 5 people in the car. How many of y'all remember that? Reggie said it was 5 people in the car. So you tell me Orlando climbed over 2 niggas in the back seat and shot out the window and did that. Nigga, all them niggas would be deaf. Reggie said at one point it was 5 people in the car, y'all. 5. And you tell me Orlando sitting behind Keith D climbed over 2 niggas? All this is covering up, allegedly, the police being involved because who's going to suffer? The government, right? Or the police department. But trust me, if this was some regular gang shit, it would have been solved a long time ago. Now, check this out. Let's go back to the September 29th, which would be Pac died on the 13th. This is like 2 weeks after Pac died. The New York Times did this article, right? That was written by Jeff Lees and Jim Newton, right? This is the story that they wrote, right? The FBI is probing death row records. the leading independent rap music label where rapper Tupac Shakur recorded his last songs. For links to street gangs and drug trafficking, law enforcement sources said this week. Federal authorities began investigating the 4-year-old company and some of its officers months before Shakur was fatally wounded in a September 7th shooting in Las Vegas, according to sources familiar with the probe. Right? Now look at this. The Feds is, and we know this is true, that the Feds was investigating um, death row because Kevin Hackey was working undercover. Remember? Reggie hired Kevin Hackey, who was a former cop, but he was working for the Feds at that time. And he even tells the story himself that he was working undercover, right? Shout out to Kevin Hackey, wherever he's at. I'm sure he'd be watching all this stuff going on too. It would be great to see his ass pop up at that trial. Reggie would probably poop in his pants. But according to Reggie, oh, me and Kevin Hackey, we cool. We cool. We speak all the time. I wonder why, right? Shakur was a passenger in a car driven by Death Row's co-founder and chief executive officer, Marion Suge Knight, when it was attacked. You know, it's another thing that's weird to me. When K-Dub tells the story about how he looked up in the rearview mirror and he could see smoke inside the car. Tupac trying to jump in the back seat and he could see smoke in the car. I wonder, why was there smoke in the car? Is it from the bullets hitting the door? Like, I don't understand that part of it. But moving on. Sources said the investigation of Death Row Records extends beyond the individual members of the recording company to the activities of the company itself. One source close to the probe said federal officers are trying to determine whether the company was involved in money laundering and racketeering, as well as drug trafficking. FBI officials declined to either confirm or deny the existence of a criminal investigation. Since 1992, the FBI has investigated Southern California street gangs as a part of its attempts to crack down on the violent street crime. Those investigations have resulted in scores of arrests, mostly on drug-related charges, including interstate trafficking and cocaine. Interstate trafficking of cocaine. Asked if the company, which generates 100 million in annual sales, will cooperate with the investigation. Death Row spokesperson George Price said absolutely no comment and hung up on a reporter. Shakur joined Death Row label last year after Knight put up a 1.4 million in bail for him while he was in custody appealing the conviction for sexual abuse. The federal inquiry into the company's gang connections is likely to be more complex than an examination of Knight's alleged ties to a set of the Blood Street gang. His label's success is born of cooperation between rap artists and businessmen tied to rival gangs. For example, while Knight hails from a Compton neighborhood dominated by Bloods, one of his most profitable performers, Calvin Brodus, known as Snoop Doggy Dogg, has been listed on the police records as a member of a Crip set in Long Beach. The federal probe appears to be first. The federal probe appears to be the first major criminal investigation of the Los Angeles-based company, but Death Row's executives are marquee artists, have faced a raft of legal troubles. In 1995, Knight, a former defense lineman for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas football team, pleaded no contest to assaulting two aspiring rappers in a Hollywood recording studio. In 1994, Shakur served a short jail term for attacking director Alan Hughes on the set of a music video. Last February, Brodus and his bodyguard were acquitted of murder in connection with the shooting of a man in a West Side Park and a federal coke inside of West Side Park. In a federal cocaine trafficking case against former Ram football player Darrell Henley, two of Knight's cousins were alleged by investigators to have participated in the operation. The cousins were not indicted, and the complaint against them was dismissed. Meanwhile, Las Vegas homicide investigators say that they are still searching for leads in connection with the shooting of Shakur, who died September 13th. Remember, this is 2 weeks after this article came out, 2 weeks after Pac died. The singer-actor was riding in the passenger seat of Knight's black BMW 1 block from the Las Vegas Strip about 11:15 p.m., headed to Knight's club on the outskirts of the city, when a white Cadillac pulled up beside them at a traffic light. One police source said evidence at the scene suggested that two men opened fire on Shakur with large caliber handguns as he tried to scramble into the back seat. A metal fragment grazed Knight's head. Now, more recently, what did Reggie say? Suge never got shot with a bullet. He got hit with a piece of a metal fragment, right? A piece of scrap metal is what Reggie said. Gobi, who worked for Pac at the time for his production company, right, was standing next to Suge's mother, according to Gobi, when the doctor came out and told Suge's mother that your son is going to be all right. He got hit with a piece of scrap metal. We just going to stitch him up. He'll be out in a few hours. Remember, Suge was out in a few hours. Them niggas was back at the club, right? If he got hit with a bullet, I doubt they'd have just stitched it up and let him go. But whatever you choose to believe is whatever you choose to believe, right? One police source said evidence at the scene suggested that two men opened fire on Shakur with large caliber handguns as he tried to scramble into the back seat. A metal fragment grazed Knight's head. Shakur was struck 4 times in the chest, hand, and pelvis. He died at the University Medical Center in Las Vegas. Police say their inquiry has been hampered by less than candid witnesses and conflicting accounts. Even if investigators uncover evidence linking someone to the shooting, they so far have no witness who can identify a suspect. Investigators in Las Vegas have also reviewed a videotape from security camera at the MGM Hotel and Casino, where hours before the shooting, Shakur and several friends pummeled a young man after a heavyweight fight featuring Shakur's friend Mike Tyson. While there is speculation that the man who fought with Shakur was a suspect in the shooting, police say he was detained after the encounter and could not have tailed the death row entourage through the city. Police sources says that after the Shakur and his friends left the MGM, they used it over. Wait, hold on, let me blow this up. I can't really see it. Do y'all hear that? This is just 2 weeks after they say Orlando couldn't have been in that car because he was detained. And we know he went to the hospital. We know he's got his shoulder kicked out of the socket. And yeah, I believe what y'all want to believe, right? Let me go back. Investigators in Las Vegas have also reviewed the videotape from a security camera at the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino, where hours before the shooting, Shakur and several friends pummeled a young man after a heavyweight fight featuring Shakur's friend Mike Tyson. While there was speculation that the man who fought with Shakur was a suspect in the shooting, police say he was detained after the encounter and could not have tailed the death row entourage through the city. Police sources said that after Shakur and his friends left the MGM Grand, they used an overhead walkway to cross the street to the Luxor Hotel, where they were staying and had parked their cars. Excuse me. Later, sources said the group went to Knight's home in a posh gated community, finally piling into a caravan of luxury cars to return to the casino strip around 10:30 p.m., bound for Knight's Club 662. The shooting took place after they turned off the strip at Flamingo Road in Colville Lane, across from the Maxim Hotel and Casino. The locale of the shooting is one of the more puzzling aspects of the crime, police say, because the chances of an attacker making a quick getaway in that part of town are minimal. Unless what? Your ass is law enforcement, because ain't no street niggas getting away from that scene of that crime without getting pulled over. Like, you would really have to have a badge or something in case you got pulled over. Like, anyway. I don't know why they take a chance to shoot Shakur where they did. One law enforcement officer said, why shoot him in one of the most gridlocked parts of town? And that's the end of that story. Right? Now, like I said, you could believe what you want to believe. I'm not going for the Orlando Anderson story, especially if Suge is telling you that he wasn't the shooter. And rest in peace, Orlando Anderson, rest in peace, Pop, right? But Keefy D, more recently, Suge told the story how he ran into Keefy D when he came home from jail, right? And Keefy D told him, yo, we ain't had nothing to do with Buntry. And Suge says, oh, nigga, I know that, because if you did, I would have been on you already, right? But you still sitting there talking to the guy that everybody thinks shot Suge and killed Tupac. So if he thought that he did something to Buntry, he would have been on him already. But you sitting there kicking it to this nigga, whoa, 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 yo, Keefy D, what's up, man? Yo, whoa, 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 whoa. And he killed Tupac? You sitting there having a conversation with this nigga, and you got a 45 bullet etched through your skull, and this is the nigga that was supposed to did it? That goes to show me as a street nigga, he ain't do it. That nigga would have ran when he saw you. You ain't had to do nothing. He'd have been so goddamn scared when he seen you. If he was guilty of shooting you and killing Tupac, you ain't had to say nothing. That nigga would have took off running, bro. He'd have been scared to death if he had something to fear. If he had something to fear, you think he would have went and sat in the office with Reggie and Sergeant Reynolds and the lawyer and to get that money? Who's to say that money wasn't for, yo, good looking, y'all? Y'all did it. Good looking, Orlando, for standing there. You ever thought about that? That Orlando and Keefy D and them got that 60,000 for being a decoy? Is that possible? They said it was for them to go and testify for Suge in his trial. Can you imagine if Orlando was the shooter? You would trust this nigga to get on the stand and say something in your favor? You think if you was Orlando and you killed Tupac, that you would be trying to walk in anybody's courtroom for any goddamn thing? Nigga, I don't want to go to court for child support. You telling me I killed Tupac and I'm gonna go and go to court and testify for Suge to help him get off on a violation. And I shot him. And I'm gonna be able to sit up on that stand and look at this nigga in his face and say, nah, the nigga Suge was trying to help me, man. Like, I'm not gonna be able to show in my face that I shot this nigga and killed Tupac. If you ain't from the street, then I understand that you would believe that. Right? And then think about this. When Suge see Keefy D, when he come home from jail, that's 5 years later. 4 years, maybe 4 years later, right? Reggie knew the night that Pac got shot that allegedly it was Orlando. Because remember, he called his father and told his father that night, yo, Orlando and them did it, right? And he wasn't at the fight, he wasn't in the caravan, but Orlando and them did it. That don't show you that allegedly that was the story that was created, that was the alibi that was created. The nigga Reggie told Frank the lie about saying that Orlando tried to take Pac chain. You don't see the play? And then Reggie is cool with Keefy D for years, decades after that. Suge seen goddamn Keefy D after that several times. And you telling me, as ruthless as these niggas was allegedly, all the niggas that got killed, nothing happened to Orlando and nothing happened to Keefy D in Compton over these years. And then when Orlando get killed, it ain't got nothing to do with death row. And y'all want to think Puffy has something to do with this? Come on, man. Now I'm gonna do y'all one even better. This right here, to me, seals the deal for me. This right here seals the deal for me. Check this out. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. I will be using this content under fair use as research in the Tupac Shakur murder case, as well as the Dwayne Davis Keefe D murder trial, to comment, to criticize, and teach, as well as researching and news reporting. I am using this as fair use to criticize, to comment, and for news reporting, as well as research. Now, right here, what you have is two Compton cops talking, right? And they talking about Tupac, they talking about Orlando, right? And see if this makes sense to y'all, right? Now, this is two Compton cops, not LAPD. These are Compton cops that know Reggie, that know Reggie Farver, that know Orlando, that knows Suge, Reggie. They know everybody around because they've been around, right? Now, for years until his death, Orlando always stated he never had anything to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur. He said he felt like he was in a scapegoat, right? And now, if you're old enough to remember, you know that he said that. If you're old enough, if you're not old enough to know that, go Google Orlando Anderson interview about them asking him, did he kill Tupac, right? Now, Reggie Wright Sr. was the first person on the scene when Orlando got killed, right? And they trying to say that when Orlando was shot, his last words, he gave a dying declaration and said, I killed Tupac. Bro, you tell me a man that his whole time that he's been accused of killing Tupac, that never been indicted on it, never got indicted on it, right? Never got arrested because they knew that he wasn't at the scene of the crime, right? Who always said he never did it and he felt like he was an scapegoat, right? You telling me the day he gets shot, don't even know if he's going to die or not, right? He don't know if he's going to die or not. That he going to sit there and confess to killing Tupac. Not knowing if he's going to die or not. He might get to the hospital, get stitched up and live. And just because he's shot, he going to say, I killed Tupac. Right? Like as if he knew that he was going to die. Right? That comes from Reggie Sr. allegedly, right? That he gave a dying declaration saying that he killed Tupac. Why would he say that? Well, he always said that he never did it. But being that he died and those people, those cops was at the scene of the crime and he died, they gonna tell us that he said, oh, he killed, his last words was, yo, I killed Tupac. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. If you don't like it, why are you watching? Let me get you out of here. I hate when stupid ass people come on my in my comments. Oh, yo, you obsessed with another man. Oh, yo, you keep talking about this. If you're not privy to me talking about this over the years, and you don't know that the trial is coming up, and if you don't like it, don't watch. Don't come in here, start crying and bitching. Just don't watch. That's it. That's all you got to do is just don't watch. Okay? That's it. But I blocked you then, so you ain't got to worry about it. Right? Anyway. Like I was saying, why would Orlando give a dying declaration saying that he did something that he said his whole life that he never did? Isn't that just so convenient for the people that want to put it on him? Right? Especially when there's nobody standing there else to hear this. Like, get out of here. But this is what I'm getting ready to show you right now. Under fair use. So I could comment, criticize his research and the Dwayne Davis murder trial. Shout out to Michael Pandulo and the team over there. Something else for you to consider, right? Check this out.
But when they say the shooting happened there at the car wash hamburger stand, Alphalandra and Willowbrook, that area. But he was found on the one street just
over.
Yeah. And the first person on the scene, Randy, was Reggie Wright.
Imagine that.
First person, man. And he was shocked when he saw myself and Pilcher there at first. The first unit to show up, undercover narcotics officers.
Wow.
I
did not know.
Yeah, and he was dead. They shot him up good. That's why I say there's conspiracy there where possibly he followed and called, okay, he's over here. Let's do him in. Let's get it done.
Wow.
All right?
Now, I'm not saying it. They are saying it. That allegedly it's a conspiracy that his pops may have got Orlando killed. Those are Compton cops, detectives from the drug aspect of the force, right? From the drug unit, right? They are saying it is a conspiracy that man followed Orlando and told niggas to kill him allegedly. I don't know. That's some Compton politics that cop on cop got to handle. Don't be mad at me for showing something that they said, because I know how dangerous y'all niggas are. That's ill. But they talking about Orlando getting killed over there, and Reggie Wright Sr. being the first one on the scene, and they are second on the scene as the drug unit, right? I'm gonna bring it back.
But you know, when they say the shooting happened there at the car wash hamburger stand, Alphalandra and Willowbrook, that area. But he was found on the one street just
over.
Yeah, and the first person on the scene, Randy, was Reggie Wright.
Imagine that.
First person, man. And he was shocked when he saw myself and Pilcher there at first. The first unit to show up, undercover narcotics officers.
Wow.
You know?
I did not know.
Yeah, and he was dead. They shot him up good. That's why I say there's conspiracy there where possibly he followed and called, you know, okay, he's over here. Let's do him in. Let's get it done.
Wow.
All right? So then there's another write-up that Ray Richardson got a dying declaration from Orlando Anderson. And
what did he say?
I
killed Tupac.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
You see how funny that is to them? You see how this cop was able to predict what the dying declaration said? Because they know allegedly. They know allegedly is bull crap, bro. Right? Like, yo, this is creepy, bro. That, you know, people take oaths to protect and serve and turn out to be criminals like Reggie Wright Jr. and trafficking drugs and money laundering. And that's no alleged. He's been convicted of it, right? Can you imagine all of the drug dealers that got robbed by crooked cops? Niggas done ran up in niggas' houses and robbed them and they didn't even arrest them. Don't be mad at me. This is your own police that's saying that. This is your own people that worked with y'all that's saying this. So please do not be mad at me for your own police officers. Call them up and be like, yo, why did y'all say that? Don't be mad at me for reporting on the news.
Wow.
You know?
I did not know.
Yeah, and he was dead. They shot him up good. That's why I say there's conspiracy there where possibly he followed and called, you know, okay, he's over here. Let's do him in. Let's get it done.
Wow.
All right? So then there's another write-up that Ray Richardson got a dying declaration from Orlando Anderson. And
what did he say? I killed Tupac.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Ray Richardson never showed up. I don't remember him being there.
That was never. I don't know.
Once again, now you got a guy who's saying they got a dying declaration from Orlando Anderson. You see how this dude, he like, I killed Tupac, and just died like as if he didn't, like he knew he was going to die. Like he couldn't have been took to the hospital and then patched up, lived, and they would be like, oh, you told us you killed Tupac and got arrested in the hospital. Like, I didn't mean to say that. I thought I was going to die, right? Like, Who does that, bro? Who? Come on, y'all. Use your brain. Why y'all keep trying to put it on these people? Because they not here no more, right? And then you saying the guy that gave you the dying declaration, this guy was there. He's saying the guy that y'all saying that said he gave it to, he wasn't even there. Yo. But it gets better. Check this out.
Shot him up good. That's why I say there's conspiracy there where possibly he followed and called, okay, he's over here. Let's do him in. Let's get it done.
Wow.
All right. So then there's another write-up that Ray Richardson got a dying declaration from Orlando Anderson. And
what did he say? I killed Tupac.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Ray Richardson never showed up. I don't remember him being there.
That was never. I don't know.
So, yeah.
Kind of crazy times, man.
Yeah.
And that was also 98, right? I mean, that would be like 2 years later, right? Almost 2 years later.
Almost 2 years later.
And I always say, how did Suge Knight, even though he went to jail, how did you ever let that dude walk the earth? If that was your dude, if you just shot me and my car up and my moneymaker
on borrowed time, somebody was getting paid.
God,
somebody was getting paid and working with.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Now, if the police, who knows all these guys and know how gangster it is out there, right? If the police is sitting there and saying, yo, if you Suge Knight, even if you was in jail, how's this guy walking around if you shot me and my money maker? All right, 2 years later, how's this guy just walking around? Right? If they are saying this, bro, if the police is saying this, you telling me Suge walks out of an LA gang and see Keefy D and be like, yo, what's up? They conversating, they talking, this, that, and the third. And you telling me you knew this guy is the one that shot you and killed Tupac? Y'all niggas is sitting around talking. Fast forward, Reggie is still friends with Keefy D, right? Hooking him up with interviews with the Art of Dialogue and Ken Capone and all these different platforms, calling the nigga on the phone. Hey, KBD is Tupac's anniversary. Woo, 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 woo. Having a meeting with Keefy D in Orlando and giving the nigga 60 bands. Him going to testify for Suge in his parole hearing. But the police is sitting there saying, how the hell is this guy just walking around Compton and he shot Suge and killed Tupac? And how is he just walking around, bro? If they saying that, and you telling me Reggie is cool with Keefy D all these years later, for 30 years, them niggas are still friends. He calling this nigga phone. What? Still talking about your free Keefy D? What? But she'll tell you Orlando wasn't the shooter. And y'all don't want to believe him. If it don't make sense to the Compton PD that know these dudes, what are y'all talking about? Some of y'all is just, I'm just going to chalk it up to that y'all have no streets in you. Yeah, y'all don't have no instinct. Like, y'all have no intuition whatsoever. whatsoever. Yeah, yo, man. Let's continue, right?
That's why I say there's conspiracy there where possibly he had him, he followed him and called, okay, he's over here. Let's do him in. Let's get it done.
Wow.
All right. So then there's another write-up that Ray Richardson got a dying declaration from Orlando Anderson. And
what did he say?
real
I
funny.
killed Tupac.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Ray Richardson never showed up. I don't remember him being there.
That was never. I don't know.
So, yeah.
Kind of crazy times, man.
Yeah,
and that was also 98, right? I mean, that would be like 2 years later, right? Almost 2 years later.
Almost 2 years later.
And I always say, how did Suge Knight, even though he went to jail, how did you ever let that dude walk the earth? If that was your dude, if you just shot me and my car up and my moneymaker
on borrowed time, somebody was getting paid.
God,
somebody was getting paid and working with someone.
Well, you just look at who you ran over. Just look who you ran over. Get out of my way. No.
Oh, see,
that's going to be for life for him.
I had an informant that helped me bust the 60 kilos. All right, and guess whose dope that was? It was Keefy D's.
Oh, there you go.
Right? So I paid off this informant, a good amount of money. Now, the person who had to sign off on that was over the Special Investigations Unit, SIU. Who was it? It was Reggie. Okay, so but when
Now, what's the chances of that? What is the chances of that? The real fake, what up? Thanks for the gift badges, all y'all. Kwame Jeezy, what up? Kwame Jeezy. I just got a question for y'all. Do that make sense to you? Orlando going, not knowing if he going to live or die, he going to confess to a murder? I'm just asking. That makes sense to y'all? If you still believe that Orlando Anderson bullshit ass story, and you don't believe Gaddafi saying that the driver was light skinned, if you don't want to believe K-Dub telling you himself that he ran up to the car to check on them, even though you didn't hear that from Frank or Edie or whatever, he's telling it to Ben Crump, a lawyer, on TV that he did that. And you got the dude, William, that the officer, I think his name is William, that was up in the Maxim on the parking deck that see the guy run up on the BMW and then get back in the car and take off. Right? That's all I'm going to say. I'll be back with more. I'm gonna leave y'all with that to think on. All right? Joke, no joke, you already know. Hit that like if you're new here. Subscribe to the channel. All right? Deuces.
Yeah. Jack Brown. You know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Never did I think hip-hop go this far. Never did I think I see Diddy behind bars or Kells. Penitentiary scars. The Man Act. Is it going too far? Back. Y'all industry rats. Y'all whack. That's 100. Or Pyro. You'll be trapped like Pac. The go viral. Gene saw the nuts of Ja Rule. At the freak off and Diddy too. But plug shopper, freak door stopper. Nigga, you don't know if you a criminal or a cop. But you next to be locked. Ask KVD. Telling on yourself on Vlad TV. You dumb nigga, you right. You never be me. And I never be you too. Telling on YouTube, sitting on the step, giving up myself. What the fuck I look like? My name G-Dap. Comb legacy doom. Will the bad boy see time like loan? Your extortion fell through. You friended no one like the moon. What did you do? Sat back and watch him get groomed. Only badge in the room. You and wifey drunk the juice. Saw the check for Pac life. And his back right. Guess it's bad boy for life. Or should I say same gang? You the same lane. That Diddy let hang. And now he chain gang. Damn, you rocked him, fella. Didn't you? For the mozzarella. Did it for Wolf and his mother. D-Ferg and Kurt Burrow. Nah, nigga, you did it cause your ass ain't thorough. And you ain't from the boroughs. Joke, no joke. You know what it is. This one's for the whole earth. You know, when they get disrespectful, I just go to the booth and kick the truth to the young black youth. Joke, no joke. You know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is.
Joke, no joke. Yeah. It's joke, no joke. Joke, no joke. Chicken joke, no joke. Joke, no joke. Niggas joke, no joke.